The most dangerous version of you is not the one who's confident, not even the one who's healed, and not even the one who's successful. It's the version of you who finally stops needing validation to keep going. The second you detach from needing applause or approval or permission, your entire frequency shifts. You become unpredictable. You become uncontrollable. You become invincible. Because nobody can stop a person whose self-belief is louder than any external validation. Hey you guys, I'm Christian, and my mission is to teach you how to turn pain into power, to turn fear into faith, wounds into wisdom, and your shadows into self-mastery. Let's begin. Let's talk about why the 99% stay small. It's not because they're fearful, it's because they're addicted to validation. But validation is a cage we voluntarily lock ourselves into. The 99% would rather shrink their dreams and seek the world's approval before they risk being misunderstood, cringy, and rejected. The 99 would rather trade their destiny for the comfort of being liked. The 99 let the illusion of comfort limit their potential because there is no growth in the comfort zone. When people project their limiting beliefs onto you, it's because you embody everything they lack in themselves, everything they maybe once embodied but were also told to repress. Christian, you're too dramatic. Christian, you're too sensitive. Christian, you're too ambitious. Christian, you're too emotional. Too much of a lot of things, but you know what? I would rather be too much than not enough. If you're queer or a woman or a person of color, this is especially relevant because marginalized people are raised in systems that teach us to be palatable and digestible and likable, and that our value is derived from the validation we get from being all those things. But like I said, validation is a cage, and although we were the ones handed the key to lock ourselves in the cage of validation, we are also the ones who can unlock ourselves from it. Now let's talk about the universal law of certainty. The universe doesn't respond to talent, it doesn't respond to confidence, it doesn't even respond to luck. The universe responds to absolute certainty. The lioness is the queen of the jungle because she acts with certainty and conviction. She doesn't hope she'll catch her prey. She doesn't ask the jungle for approval. She decides that whatever she wants is already hers and she goes and gets it, regardless of what the zebra or the giraffe or the hippo think. That's why she's queen. That's how I want you to move, with absolute certainty, with absolute conviction, with absolute audacity, despite your parents' limiting beliefs, despite your friends maybe not really supporting you, despite your peers maybe even doing better than you. Your success is inevitable because you decide it is. When you place an order at a restaurant, you are absolutely certain that your food will arrive. No matter how long it takes, you are certain that it's coming. You don't keep asking the waiter for reassurance, and even if you do, even if you are one of those people, their reassurance doesn't impact the fact that your order is coming and it's inevitable. The same applies with the certainty I want you to garner over the orders that you place with the universe. No amount of validation or reassurance from anybody can influence the certainty that your success is coming, because validation doesn't create the manifestation. It's the certainty that you have that does. Now let's talk about the importance of walking without applause. As humans, it's really important for us to have approval and validation from our community because our primitive monkey brains need that acceptance and that sense of security and belonging. You know, at sports day at school, like having your parents cheer for you is what gave you the motivation to win. When you did a school production, seeing them in the audience made you less nervous. And so we naturally carry that need for acceptance into our adulthood, especially when we're doing something that involves involves being seen or putting ourselves out there. When I started creating content, I would film and get like 2 likes, one of which was my mom. And I would internalize that shame and embarrassment and convince myself that I shouldn't keep going. But who are we if we only create when we're validated by others? The most dangerous version of you walks without applause. Like, imagine you're walking along your path to success and you only walk when someone's cheering for you on the sidelines. And as soon as you get a little further and there's no one cheering for you, you suddenly stop and sit down in your spot until someone comes and cheers for you again. At this point, you're gonna stay in that spot forever. How about the person who keeps walking, whether there's a crowd of people, a couple of people, one person, or no one? They have somewhere to be. They walk with conviction and they walk with certainty, because applause and validation isn't what makes your legs move. It's you and your ability to get up and move your legs that determines how far you'll go. Now, why does walking without a witness make you the 1%? Because the 1% move without validation. The 1% move in silence. And the 1% understand delayed gratification. When you can walk along your path to success without a witness, you become invincible. Your path to success will have thorns and bumps and valleys and peaks to climb. And not every turn will have someone cheering for you and telling you to keep going. But I think we forget that even when we walk alone, we're never truly alone, because the one person who keeps us going despite the obstacles along our path is us. To walk in your purpose and along your path to success without a witness is to walk without permission. And when you move without permission, you desensitize yourself to other people's opinions. And like the lioness, she doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of a sheep who has never hunted far across land or achieved the things that she has. The lioness moves alone and on her own terms, but the sheep needs the herd to move and spends their life following that herd brainlessly. So how do you become the most dangerous version of yourself? How do you become the lioness and not the sheep? You do these 3 things. Number 1, you do it anyway. Afraid? I do it anyway. No support? I do it anyway. No one believes in me? I do it anyway. Afraid I'll fail publicly? I do it anyway. Tired, overwhelmed, doubting myself? I do it anyway. Number 2, you stop waiting. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for validation. You stop waiting for approval. You stop waiting for evidence. You stop waiting for applause. Number 3, move like it's inevitable. Create like you've already arrived. Live like you were born to be seen. Reject the idea that silence is rejection. Reject the idea that silence is rejection. And move anyway. If you've made it this far, let me know by commenting "I move anyway," because if you've watched up until this point, you're gonna make it. You're gonna be successful. Your success is inevitable because you move anyway. I love you, angels. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Like and subscribe and let me know what kind of content you want to see more of. I'll see you next Saturday for another mindset, manifestation, or spiritual healing video. I love you.